So, smoothies are one of those foods that almost everyone assumes are healthy, and they can be, but a lot of smoothies are creating blood sugar crashes, hunger an hour later. Have you ever had a smoothie and then an hour later you're starving? Unstable energy, cravings, and we don't realize it because the ingredients are quote unquote healthy. So today I want to talk about the biggest mistake that I see people making with smoothies and how to fix it so your smoothie can support your body and what you need right now instead of stressing it and leading to hunger and cravings later. Before I jump in, this video is for educational purposes only. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, or replace medical care. Always work with your healthcare provider regarding your personal health concerns. So a lot of smoothies are created almost entirely around fruit. I remember when I first started making green smoothies, they were mostly fruit and greens, and then like half fruit and half greens. And then I learned it needs to be less fruit. Sometimes people use fruit juice instead of water. A lot use bananas. There's other studies about bananas we'll talk about. A lot use dates as well, or frozen fruit. Now, fruit is not an enemy. Fruit is very high in vitamins and fiber. And if it's colorful, like berries and blackberries and cherries and plums and things like those beautiful, bright colors, my number two rule is always eat the rainbow. Then those provide so many nutrients that our body needs and loves and are wonderful for our brain and our heart. And so I don't want to rule out fruit or say it's an enemy. But when we're eating it as a smoothie, we're drinking it with a straw, consuming it really quickly, we are consuming some very fast digesting carbohydrates that don't include enough protein, enough minerals, enough fiber, or any fat to help with absorption. So we digest it very, very quickly, which sounds good, but that means our blood sugar goes up fast. That means that we're going to have an energy crash in a couple hours. We're most likely going to have really strong cravings in a couple hours. And we may even crash and just feel like not doing anything in a few hours. And so people end up being hungry, shaky, foggy, and craving things later during the day and sometimes the entire rest of the day. Add in a poor night's sleep, and it is a disaster for your metabolic rate. So, liquid meals like a fruit juice, orange juice, something like that, they digest really fast compared to a solid meal. That kind of makes sense to us, right? We don't have to break a lot down. It's easily absorbed into the body and into the bloodstream. So even when our ingredients are technically quote unquote healthy, like pomegranate juice, super healthy, wonderful for the heart, but our body experiences it differently than eating pomegranate, the fruit, those seeds that are high in fiber. You get them stuck in your teeth, right? And so we experience that differently. If a smoothie lacks balance, it doesn't have the amino acids, it doesn't have the healthy fats, and doesn't have lots of fiber, then it's going to go through your body really, really quickly. And your nervous system is going to take the hit there. We hear a lot about the nervous system and stress on the nervous system. So, this is important if you're already fatigued, you didn't have a good night's sleep, you have inflammation in the body, you have autoimmune antibodies, you're in a flare, you already have energy crashes. Then we're going to throw off blood sugar even more, create more inflammation, a really unstable body. So we need to look at something that's really common. If we're throwing in bananas, there's lots of studies out there. Dr. Greger did one not too long ago. I've seen other studies. Dr. Greger, I love looking at his videos. That is nutritionfacts.org. Um, but he talks just about the studies. He doesn't take any paid ads or anything like that. And he will even come out with something and go, you know what, I misspoke and correct himself if something's wrong. Well, bananas, they interact. They're not high in antioxidants. You know, cut a banana, you leave it out, it turns brown. That's because it's low in antioxidants. It does have lots of fiber. It does have some nutrients. We think of it as being high in potassium. However, it's like number 50 out of foods that are high in potassium. There are much better foods we can eat. Now, bananas are super portable, easy to carry, travel with, except they can get smushed, right? Easy to eat. They're already come in a packaging, so you don't have to worry about bruising. I mean, they do bruise. You don't have to worry about washing them and putting in another container, that kind of thing. But bananas, if we consume them with polyphenol-rich foods, which is what we want for our heart and our brain, those colorful foods, bananas counteract them and we don't get those nutrients we want. Even if you're eating like cocoa, cacao, high quality chocolate because you heard about the antioxidants and the flavonoids, that gets canceled out by the banana. So Bananas aren't really great in our smoothies. Berries. If we put berries in there, berries are wonderful for our heart, our brain, our blood. I put berries in mine. But if you have too many berries, it may spike your blood sugar. I know for me, I can go up to a half a cup, but my former business partner, she couldn't go more than a quarter. And the doctor that I work for, she also can't do more than a quarter. And so we need to put on a CGM and see how your body responds to berries. Oat milk. So I haven't seen any store-bought oat milks that don't come with gums and fillers and other inflammatory things. And so read it. My number one rule, always read the ingredients, read the ingredients, read the ingredients. I don't care what the nutrition facts say. What is in the ingredients? What are the other ingredients? That's what you need to be paying attention to. You may need to switch to a different kind of milk or make your own oat milk. Now, oat milk can spike blood sugar in some people, so paying attention to that. And then dates. Dates can throw off blood sugar as well. So it may be that you're just putting in the wrong types of items in your smoothie. Maybe you're putting the right kinds in, but first let's talk about what would be a nice item in your smoothie. We want lots of fiber. Sometimes people can add fiber to it. Some people do okay with psyllium husk. Some people that causes cramping. Adding in things like flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, they have healthy fats that help with absorption of those fat soluble nutrients, but they also add fiber. They also add amino acids and additional protein. Healthy fats in your walnuts and those nuts and seeds, wonderful. Protein, I prefer the words amino acids. Whatever word you use, make sure that you're getting it in through your dark leafy greens, through your high fiber nuts and seeds, and things like that. Sometimes I even add beans to my smoothie. Some people think that's weird, but it's easily hid by your other other flavoring. And then a less of a sugar load. So like for me, I can I'll put a quarter cup of mixed berries and cherries, and then I'll add a quarter cup of berries, cherries, and seeds to the top, as well as my dairy-free yogurt to help keep blood sugar stable. Does that work for you? Hopefully that does. Now, I also like to add those things on top because I don't drink mine with a straw. If I eat it with a spoon, I eat it slower. It hits the enzymes in my mouth. I'm chewing and swishing and helping break things down and slowing down that absorption, keeping blood sugar stable longer. So hopefully that would help you too. So if you have completely changed your digestion speed by increasing the fibers and the healthy fats, not just relying on the juice, eating it with a spoon, slowing it all down, being mindful, paying attention, looking at the food, smelling the food, tasting the food, not just chugging it down through a straw, that will help as well with the digestion, with the absorption, with your blood sugar response, and with helping you feel fuller later on. So I want to make sure I say it clearly. It's not about food restriction. You don't have to eliminate all those foods, but we want to have the right balance so that you feel stable and satisfied and safe after the meal. We don't want you searching for another cup of coffee or cookie or banana at 10 a.m. when you had your smoothie at 8 a.m. We want you to feel full enough that you make it until lunch at 12 or 1 o'clock. If your breakfast spikes you, if you spend the rest of the day trying to recover, having to have those snacks, then that's when we start grazing, making poor food choices, drinking too much caffeine, and feeling exhausted like we need a nap in the afternoon. And it all started because we made a poor choice on our smoothie. And maybe it wasn't a quote unquote bad choice. We just didn't know, and we put too much fruit in there, not enough greens or seeds or healthy fats. So make those slight changes. If you love smoothies, you don't have to stop drinking them. Just create them a little bit different. Think about how you can get enough of the nutrients your body needs, how you can slow down how you eat it, put it in a bowl, put some extra berries and seeds and nuts on top, chew, put it in your mouth, chew, feel it in your mouth. Let your body know you're safe while you're eating it so that it slows the digestion and you actually absorb those wonderful nutrients that are in that smoothie. If there's one thing you take away from this, it's that a smoothie should stabilize your body, not spike it, not leave you needing something else to eat in an hour or two. This is what I like to teach when I work with clients one-on-one. I like to simplify it. We don't need more food rules. I know for me, I don't need anyone telling me what I can't eat because that's what I'm going to eat. We just need to know how to create meals that are built for us, that keep us safe and stable and are nourishing. If you want an example of a balanced smoothie, there is one on holisticgen.com. You can just search in that search button. That is where I place my recipes and write my blog. And if you know someone who lives on smoothies and still feels exhausted and has to reach for snacks throughout the day, send this video to them. If you want to comment, want to share resources, you know I love to learn from you. I love to learn from my clients and my listeners and anyone who has taken out the time to listen to me. I love you, and I can't wait to share with you again next week.